Genocide City. Deleted levels in video games have always been a source of fascination for gamers, and one of the best known examples of them is the 4 deleted zones in Sonic 2. Hidden Palace, Wood Zone, Dust Hill, and Genocide City are all listed on the level select screen of a publicly available Sonic 2 beta. Hidden Palace and Wood Zone can be partially played, and there's an old preview picture of what is believed to be Dust Hill. Genocide City, however, is a mystery. Selecting in the beta will simply load a blank screen where Sonic will instantly fall to his death. The lack of information and excessively threatening name have made this zone one of the biggest mysteries in gaming. Recently, I came across what was claimed to be a more complete beta of Sonic 2, which had all the missing zones intact and fully playable. I was skeptical that such a thing would exist, since most deleted levels are cut because they were never finished, but the download description claimed every zone had been completed and removed for an unexplained reason. I started playing the beta. Aside from Tails not being present in gameplay, he was on the title screen. The game initially seemed identical to the final version. After completing Green Hill and Chemical Plant Zone, however, I ended up in Dust Hill. Dust Hill was pretty similar to the lone screenshot of it, a standard desert theme level. The oddly slow banjo music in the background was a little unsettling, but everything else felt just like a normal Sonic 2 zone. The Robotnik boss was his standard vehicle, with robotic arms holding 6 shooter guns, although they fired the standard energy bullets. After Dust Hill, I went through Aquatic Ruins, Casino Night, and Hilltop Zone with no differences from the ones in the final game. After Hilltop, like Dust Hill, this fit in perfectly with the exception of some odd textures on carved wood platforms. They almost looked like faces. The music had a tribal feel to it. Robotnik was fought on a few floating platforms above the spike pit. He used an axe attachment to his vehicle to eliminate platforms and attack you. In Mystic Cave Zone, I noticed the first difference from the final version besides the added levels. I collected the 7th Chaos Emeralds in it and didn't get any message about Supersonic, just as Sonic got them all message. I couldn't turn into Supersonic either. After completing Oil Ocean, I went to Hidden Palace Zone. It was pretty much like the version in the well-known beta, nothing unusual until I got to the end of the second act. Tails was tied to the Master Emerald, Robotnik was hovering above him, doing a laughing animation. Sonic turned into Supersonic and ran past the Master Emerald, grabbing Tails. Right before Robotnik fired a gigantic beam at the Emerald, shattering it, I got a message saying, "Sonic saved Tails," and the screen faded. Metropolis Zone started. I could change it to Supersonic with 50 rings now, and Tails was following me. The rest of the game was just like normal, and Genocide City never showed up. Confused about Genocide City's absence, I looked around online trying to find information about the version I had just played. I couldn't find anything, so I decided to try replaying the game without collecting the Chaos Emeralds. Everything in the game was identical until I reached the end of Hidden Palace. Tails was still tied to the Emerald. Robotnik was still above him. Sonic ran to the Emerald to try and save Tails. Robotnik fired an energy beam diagonally, knocking Sonic back. Robotnik fired his huge beam at the Master Emerald, hitting Tails this time. I heard a loud, high-pitched shriek, which I guess was supposed to be a voice sample from Tails. When the beam went away, Tails and the Master Emerald were both gone without a trace. Robotnik did a laughing animation and flew away. Sonic did an animation I had never seen before, where he fell to the ground and just lay there. The words, "You couldn't have saved him. You couldn't save him," appeared on the screen and the level faded out. The next zone, as I was expecting, was Genocide City. When it loaded, it was a blank screen, just like the well-known beta. Sonic fell to the bottom and died. I had 14 lives when I reached it, and this falling sequence repeated itself 13 times. When I was down to 1 life though, the level finally loaded. The best way I can describe the graphics is the combination of Chemical Plant and Metropolis Zone, with many objects in the background on fire. The music seemed like a remix of the title screen music. What played was nothing but deep bass tones. There didn't seem to be any rings in the zone, so being down to my last life, I proceeded with caution. There didn't seem to be enemies in the zone either. In their place were the sprites for the animals you free from badness, lying on the ground, not moving. More and more animals appeared as I went deeper into the level. Soon the floors were covered with them. The only challenges in the level were some simple platforming sequences. I had to jump over gaps in the floor that led to a burning fire on the bottom of the screen. After going through what felt like a normal Sonic 2 level in length, I reached the goal sign. There was a small gap to the floor before the sign. After touching the sign, instead of running to the right like he usually does, Sonic turned around just like in the direction of the gap for about 30 seconds. Then he ran into it, falling to his death. I got the game over screen. I had forgotten that I had earned a couple continues early in the game. I selected the yes continue option, but heard an ear-splitting buzzing noise, like games do when you choose a menu option you aren't allowed to. I tried a couple more times, but the game clearly wasn't going to let me continue. I finally chose no and got a game over screen similar to the bad ending in Sonic 1, except instead of juggling emeralds, Robotnik was juggling the bodies of the creatures you free from badniks. I had to reset the game to get away from the screen. I was disturbed by what I had just seen. This certainly explained why Genocide City had been removed from the game, but I couldn't imagine what made Sega even consider doing something like this. Even though I had already played through the game and gotten the good ending, I felt like I had to do it again, that I couldn't leave the game the way my second playthrough had ended. So for the third time in one day, I started the Sonic 2 beta. The first oddity was the title screen. Tails was gone from it. Sonic didn't seem to notice. There was just a bit of empty space. The circle both of them are coming out of. I started the game and it seemed normal until I collected 50 rings and entered the first bonus stage. Instead of rings coming at me, wave after wave of bombs appeared. I dodged them for as long as I could, but finally got hit. Instead of doing the ring losing animation, the 3D Sonic model did a death animation and the bonus stage ended. The result screen listed 0 for every stat, but the message at the top was different in the solid black text. You can't bring back the dead. Getting really scared at this point, I collected another 50 rings as quickly as I could, but the bonus stage I entered was identical. Ending was the same message. I deleted the beta from my computer and downloaded it again so I could get the good ending again. I nearly screamed when I saw the title screen without Tails on it, and as I feared, I got the impossible bonus stage again. But this time the message was different when I lost. You can't reverse your mistakes. I was terrified. I was clinging to the irrational belief that if I could just get the good ending again, everything would be better. I went on a different computer, downloaded the beta, and got the same title screen. Acting on baseless instinct by this point, I went to the bonus stage again. The message this time, you have to accept your mistakes. I deleted the beta from this computer as well. I realized the computers were sharing an internet source, that there was a possibility that this was some kind of trick or virus. I went to my trusty Genesis, took out the Sonic 2 car I had in for 17 years. If I could just see Tails in it, I knew everything would be okay. But I still haven't gotten up the courage to risk it. Every rational part of my knows that the beta couldn't possibly affect my cartridge, but I'm too afraid of what will happen if I see the title screen without Tails in it. I dream about it every night, but I just know that it could get so much worse.